I'm Mahmood. I'm 32 years old. Currently, I'm an Uber driver. I'm a third out of 11 children, alhamdulillah, very large family. My family's life before my brother's arrest was just normal. Obviously, my brother's arrest came as a huge shock to all of us. I still have flashbacks of the raid. That image was just, it still haunts me to this day. I remember exactly. I remember vividly. At the time, we had guests over. My uncle from Saudi, we had my grandfather from Italy, my auntie from the United States. So firstly, there was a knock on the door, and then literally after that, a lot of police officers, they jumped in. We were all sleeping comfortable in our beds, and then they told us to come downstairs, and it was just a scary experience. It's an experience that's gonna stick with me for the rest of my life. It shook everyone because all of us, like just imagine 10 people or maybe more, we were all home with the guests, all of us being cramped up in one room and just not knowing what to do. I remember seeing the shock in my mom's eye. She was in tears. My father had a shock on his face. His blood pressure level was going up. It was just a scary time for all of us. Our siblings, my little brothers and sisters were confused. Obviously, we're good people. We're not the type of people to get in trouble with the law or anything. But to see the police raiding our house like that, it was just a shock for every single one of us. Feeling it from my mom the most. Obviously, her being a mother, it must have hit her hard. It really did. I remember. My brother, I remember him literally being handcuffed and taken away. Me being a younger brother and seeing that, it was a scary thing. All of us were worried. Every single one of us was confused. I was just extremely shocked. I didn't know that we would experience anything like that in our lifetime, or to see my beloved older brother being taken away from us. It was a scary thing for all of us. We always see the police as the protectors, and for them to just raid our house and scare us like that, it will forever have an impact. I would say a bad one, because I don't know, I just started to look at police differently, and they were just going around the house and ransacking everything, and it was just crazy. I remember at the time there was a phone that I bought for my wife. That phone was taken. They've taken every single technology item, PlayStations included, laptops. Remember, my laptop was taken. They ransacked literally the entire house. They just left it like that. I remember it was something that you would see in the movies. Never ever expected it would happen to you. My brother had an exam. His laptop was taken. My sister was studying. She was doing her A-levels. Her stuff was taken, and it had a negative effect on her in terms of her studying, her mindset, everything, because once something scary and shocking like this happens, it does cause a shock to your system. My sister did suffer mentally. My older brother, he was also going to university. He had a USB full of his dissertation. Due to his laptop being taken away from him, he had also failed university, and then he could not go back to university because it was being kept by the police. He could not gain access to his work, which was due to be submitted at the time. We didn't see my brother for about 4 to 5 weeks. That period was very worrying, concerning. None of us knew where he would be taken. And this just caused worry and anxiety to my parents and to myself and to my little siblings. Just caused a lot of worry and stress and anxiety. In that time period, it was very traumatic, scary, worrying, very worrying. I can never forget my father just looking confused and just worried. And my mother. My mom, of course, that's her son, and feelings was extremely hurt. My mom was relieved that she saw her son finally. She was happy, although she was hurting from inside, but she seemed happy that finally she saw her son. My father's blood pressure level was high. My mom was constantly just worrying. I remember seeing her downstairs by herself, just having to come to terms, crying and stuff. And my dad was just confused. I remember there's one particular time where we find out on the news, I think it was BBC or the Mirror. And then I remember when my father was looking at it, like I remember the shock that he had in his eyes, seeing his son on the news. The family was very humiliated. We were all humiliated. Of course, us being a well-known family, imagine your parents, friends and neighbors and everyone finding out what had happened. Just embarrassing. Very embarrassing, to say the least. It was shocking. Everyone was shocked. My brother is very popular, very likable character. So he knew loads of people. He had literally hundreds of friends, and they were all shocked and worried. Everyone was coming up to me and asking me, what happened to your brother? What happened to your brother? What happened this? And it was just awkward and confusing to answer. No one believed what was going on. It came as a shock. All of his friends, everyone who knew him, because people know that he's a good-hearted person, smartest one of the house, so to speak, being taken away, and it was just a shock. None of us believed it. Just confusing. Very confusing. Me being his immediate younger brother, I was shocked. I was extremely shocked, confused, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to contact him at first. Scary, disastrous period initially. It was confusing at first, growing up with my brother, him always being around the house, and for him to suddenly have gone, disappeared. Psychologically, it was terrible, because I was constantly thinking about him, what happened to him, worrying. Financially, work-wise, I just lost motivation to just work, just being confused, being extremely confused. confused. Ramadan, usually all of us eat together, alhamdulillah. It's a beautiful time. Ramadan is a time where all of us gather, we eat in one table, in the same room. And then to have that one element missing, one person missing, it just does not feel the same. It does not feel the same. For my parents, I'm sure they felt that there was a hole in their heart, that their son is not in the table with everyone else eating. We first found out about HHUGS in 2015. They were introduced to us via the solicitor. They provided a lot of financial support. I remember they were giving us vouchers, which were needed at the time for my family to go and do shopping. Because remember, there was an element of the house that's gone missing. There was an income miss because of my brother not being there no more, him being in prison. So they have helped us tremendously. Also during the winter, they was helping us to pay the bill, the electricity, gas. They supported us a lot during winter times. As you know, it's cold. The bills go up, expensive. I remember they were sending duvets and other winter essentials, which have come in very, very handy. It was needed. They've provided extra income to help us with books and the uniforms and the travel costs for my siblings. It was a relief. It was a big relief knowing that there was such a charity group helping us out in this very, very difficult time. It was a relief. It felt good and it felt like a huge weight had come off our shoulders. It was a tremendous support. We felt amazing knowing that there are such human beings who exist, charitable people, people who give, people who care about humanity, people who care about others who are going through struggle. It's just a relief. Had HHUGS not existed, we would have simply struggled. We would have struggled because there was a major support, big contribution, a whole person who was working and contributing towards everything, the bills and everything it takes to run the house, that was gone. So had it not been for HHUGS, we would have struggled hard. Our special occasions, Eid, etc., they were sending extra stuff. Remember, when you receive gifts, for example, in Eid, it puts a big smile on your face. Imagine seeing a cake coming from HHUGS. It adds that extra, flavor. Also Qurbani, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful to know that there are people that contribute something to help people in need, because we were in need. We are in need. They've supported us tremendously. It's a great charitable organization that looks after people in need. We are very, very grateful for them. We make a dua for them. May Allah bless them. May Allah bless every single person who contributes £1 towards HHUGS. I recommend HHUGS to every single person because they're helping a lot of people in terms of financial support, moral support. I think people should support HHUGS because you have to understand, by you supporting HHUGS, you are supporting a lot of people who are in difficult situation, who are in vulnerable situation. When you're contributing £1 or more towards HHUGS, think about who is going to affect down the line. Think about how many families it will put smile on their faces. I make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal to help every single person who contributes towards HHUGS. I ask Allah Azza wa Jal to increase their rizq. We are forever grateful for the work that HHUGS have done, for the charitable help that they have provided us with. Jazakum Allahu khair. We are very, very, very grateful.